into all of the jars, watch this, not halfway to the brim. Yeah, they had to fill it to the brim. Now, if I'm a filler, I wish I would have me a drawer after all this work, walking back and forth, all this pouring. Don't you sit down on me talking about you ain't gonna do no work. When I've been doing all this pouring, ain't nothing worse than to be working when somebody else sitting. I'm doing all this pouring. I'm going back and forth getting this water, and you're gonna sit down over here and you ain't gonna do no. Can we work together? Can I pour and can I fill it and can you? I know some of us thought now that Jesus' miracles were just all of a sudden, but while that's true, sometimes there are some times when transformative action is taking place and we are partnering with a miracle, and Jesus is basically saying, put in some work, put in some work. Let's put in some work. And that means if you hung around him long enough, if you hung around Jesus long enough, yes, you would see a miracle. But if you were really blessed, you might get the opportunity to do some pouring and some drawing out that would show everything around you that Jesus got you working on something. Look at somebody and holler, I'm working on something. Watch it. I'm almost out of here. Because after Jesus tells the servants to fill up the jars, after they draw out the water, Jesus says, now there's one more transformative action that has to happen. There's one more thing. He says, because now that we've filled and drawn out, now you got to take the water to the wedding coordinator. Yeah, he says, take it to him. In my spiritual imagination, I see this third transformative action happening with people who have a passion and a gifting for evangelism and faith. Because these are the ones who are going to have, watch this, enough faith to carry water but call it wine. They're carrying water, but you can't get to this wedding coordinator and tell him there's water. Jesus didn't say this was water. Jesus says, bring him the wine. Listen, it takes faith at every step of transformational action. It takes faith to fill up. It takes faith to draw out. And at this point, it's going to take some more faith. Because now we have to take this water over to the person in charge of the wedding, talking about pressure, and tell them, I'm not holding what you think I'm holding. This is not water. I'm holding what you ran out of earlier. Here it comes. The people who are taking this water over to the person in charge of the wedding have no idea when the water turns into wine. All they know is this is all the water that they're carrying. Still looks like water, still smells like water. It still looks like what we were, but because we don't know it's wine in the text until the governor of the feast takes a taste. He tastes. He tastes the water. The text says, the servants who drew out just naturally knew and believed it was wine. Because at the end of the day, if you've ever been with Jesus long enough, when you've been working with Jesus, when you've been working on something with him, when you've been performing transformative action after transformative action, you just naturally believe that the miracle is happening, that the miracle is saying, he wouldn't have sent me this far to leave me. He's always been faithful to me. New mercies I see every day. God has always been God. Look at somebody, holler, he's always been God. Yeah, when did it happen? It happened when we were filling. It happened when we were drawing. It happened when we were taking. It happened when we were working on what Jesus had us working on. We was just being obedient. We were just carrying what he told us to carry. And the next thing we find out is that when we hand this thing over to the wedding coordinator say, this is the best wine I've ever tasted in my life. I ain't never had nothing like this. This got to be something that ain't come for you. You waited till the last to give me the best. I wish I had somebody in here that could understand that God has a way of showing you, I'll take what you carry and turn it into something else. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, God can take what I'm holding and turn it into the best. You're getting ready to walk into something. You're getting ready to step on something. You're getting ready to step into something, but you're not carrying what you had earlier. You're carrying the best. Look at somebody, holler, you're carrying the best. You're carrying the best. You're carrying the best. I almost forgot something. I almost forgot something. For those who were wondering if you had anything worth carrying, I almost forgot something because I read somewhere in my word where the text says, we have this treasure in earthen vessels. Oh God, I feel like preaching in here. I wonder if there's anybody in here that understands you got something before I was formed. He consecrated me before he appointed me. Is there anybody in here? I gotta call. Is there anybody in here that knows what I'm talking about? Not by accident. Not by accident. I'm working on something. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, I'm working on something. I'm working on something. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, neither has it entered into the heart of man the things God has prepared for those he loves. Is there anybody in here that knows what I'm talking about? You are the head and not the tail. Oh God, look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, I'm a filler, I'm a filler. I'm a drawer, I'm a drawer. I'm a taker, I'm a taker. I'm carrying what God told me to carry. I'm filling what God told me to fill. I'm drawing what God told me to draw. I'm working on something. Grab your neighbor by the hand and say, neighbor, I'm working on something.
You better